Hello, welcome to OJ Studios. Please enjoy this week's chapter of The Tutor by Lacey Rice.
Courtney was right. Once we got to the school's main office, we were directed to a passenger van and driven to the strip mall where Shadow Learning Solutions' storefront building was located. I walked into the place and was directed by Professor Quinn to the same room where the two chairs sat. My lifeless body was already sitting in one of the chairs. "Sit down, Matt," Professor Quinn directed. "I'm leaving, Lily?" I asked questionably. "Only for about an hour. Then you'll be back in her body," Professor Quinn said. "Don't worry, it's normal, they just want to talk to you without me present," Lily said. "Okay," I said, both in thought speaking out loud. I walked to the chair and sat down. The two bowl lids lowered on my head and the lights brightened around me.
I awoke back in my body. I looked at my nails and saw that they were not painted pink like Lily's were. I felt weird being alone in my head. I tried to call out to Lily in thought speech, but there was no one there to answer. After a little over 24 hours with her in my head, being without her made me feel sort of empty. I looked over at Lily, who seemed to be shaking a little as she wakened from being put back in control of her body. Lily tried to get up, but her legs were too wobbly, and she fell back into her seat. I tried to help her, but she just waved me off. "I'm fine. It just takes me a minute to regain my full body's functions," Lily said. That was the first time I heard Lily's voice come out of the real-life Lily. Professor Quinn stood by, observing our transition with a stern yet understanding gaze. Once Lily was steady on her feet, she addressed us both. "All right, Matt, follow me. Lily, you know where the student waiting room is. Courtney should be in there shortly." Lily nodded her head and walked to one door while I followed Professor Quinn to another door. I followed her into a hallway. We walked down the hall to her office and Mrs. Quinn opened the door, allowing me to go in first. The room was filled with the scent of aged books and a soft hum from her computer. The trailer was bare bones, but this office seemed to be the complete opposite. Professor Quinn gestured for me to take a seat in a comfortable chair facing her desk. I noticed the room was adorned with curious artifacts and framed diplomas that spoke of her extensive expertise in neuroscience and virtual consciousness. A second later the door opened again, and Lily's dad walked into the room. Without a word he sat in the chair next to mine. Professor Quinn took a seat behind her desk, her expression serious yet composed. "Matt, Mr. Thompson, thank you both for joining me." She then turned her attention to me. "Matt, whenever we have a new long-term tutor in a student, we always check and make sure that everything is going all right and that this is a good match for you and Lily." "Everything is great," I said honestly. "Are you adjusting all right? I know going from male to female in your first assignment can be challenging. Are you adapting to life as a 10-year-old girl all right?" "It's a bit of a learning curve, but I'm learning," I spoke. "Lily has also been helping me." "Great," Professor Quinn said. "Mr. Thompson, is there anything you would like to add?" "Not at this point," he said, looking at Professor Quinn. "Great," Professor Quinn said. "That brings me to our next problem. Matt, you parents want to see you this weekend and they are not taking no for an answer." "Okay, so what, do I just leave Lily for a few hours and go see them?" I asked. "That would be unacceptable. Lily's dad said in a thunderous reply. I pay you all good money for him to stay in my daughter's head, ensuring that he keeps Lily focused on studying. True, but these things do come up. Professor Quinn said, quieting him down. I can take her to my apartment with me. I suggested. I can just tell my parents that I'm babysitting her. Professor Quinn just shook her head no. Sadly, we can't just do that. She said, still shaking her head. It's too much of a liability, and too many questions might be raised. Then put her in my head. I said before I think about what I was suggesting. Make her in full control of me and we can go about a normal day just in reversed roles. Professor Quinn looked at Mr. Thompson. I could tell that she was thinking about it, but if my Mr. Thompson was also thinking about it, he didn't show it. Matt, it takes a student a few test rounds before we allow a tutor to go in their heads for a full day. You will be having Lily controlling your body for a whole weekend with no prior training. Well, we are both here now, I said, why don't we just try it really quick? That would be up to Lily's father. Professor Quinn said, pointing to Mr. Thompson. Can you make sure that she gets her homework done over the weekend? He asked. I can. I said, nodding. Then it's fine with me. He spoke, finally looking at me. Just don't make a habit of this. I won't, sir. I promised. Well, then it's settled. Professor Quinn said. Matt, get Lily, and be ready in 15 minutes. Okay. I said, getting up from my seat. Oh, and another thing. Professor Quinn said, keeping me from leaving. You and Lily will be eating out with Andrew and I, with Lily in control of your body. I paused for a moment, but didn't say anything. Instead, I just walked off, heading to the student waiting room where Lily and Courtney were. I entered the student waiting room to find Lily and Courtney engaged in conversation. It was weird knowing that they were both free from their tutors, and yet they were able to still act so normally. They both changed out of their uniforms, and they were both wearing jeans and a t-shirt. I guess that they have clothes here that they can change into as well. They looked up as I approached, and Lily gave me a curious look. What's going on? Lily asked. Is it time to have you back in my body? Nope. I said, change of plans. We are trying something new. Lily's eyes widened with curiosity. What do you mean, something new? I explained the situation, outlining the plan for dinner tonight with Lily in control of my body. Courtney seemed intrigued, while Lily appeared both excited and apprehensive. I on purpose didn't mention that I also wanted her to take over my body for the weekend too. So, I get to be you for the rest of the day? Lily asked, a mix of disbelief and excitement in her voice. Yep, I confirmed. Just remember to take it easy on me. It's my first time doing this, too. Lily grinned, and for a moment, it felt like we were about to embark on a unique adventure together. Courtney, sensing the shift in atmosphere, added, well, this should be interesting. I hope you two have fun with dinner. Lily hugged Courtney tightly. I wish you could come too. She said, squeezing poor Courtney tighter. Don't worry. Courtney said, hugging Lily back. You go have fun being Matt tonight, and tell me all about it. We walked back to the room with the two chairs. But before we could sit in our chairs, a lady in a motorized wheelchair entered the room. She controlled the chair with her chin, unable to move her arms or her legs. She looked startled to see us and attempted to turn around. Wait, Emily, don't be afraid. Lily said, stopping her. Emily? I asked. Is it really you? The lady turned around her wheelchair and looked at Lily and I. She sighed and moved the wheelchair to us. Yes, it's me. She admitted. I know I'm a far cry from Courtney, aren't I? Don't say that. Lily said, you're amazing. Yeah. I said, agreeing. I'm not. Emily said. This is why I like tutoring Courtney for, at least with Courtney's body I can walk and do everything I can in this wheelchair. I wanted to say more, but Professor Quinn came into the room. Emily, go ahead and get Courtney, you two are after Matt and Lily. Professor Quinn said Emily used her chin to move her wheelchair to the student waiting area. Both Lily and I took the opposite seats that we would normally sit in. Lily looked over at me and smiled at the bowl-shaped helmets lowered into position. I looked over at Lily, who was smiling over at me. I could see the anticipation of being the one in control for once in her face. "Ready, Lily?" Professor Quinn asked. Lily nodded excitedly to speak. "Ready, Matt?" Professor Quinn asked. "Ready as I'll ever be," I replied. I tried to imagine what it was going to be like being stuck in my head. What was it going to feel like? And how well was Lily going to handle my body? Ready or not, here I come. The lights went bright, and I was knocked out.